Howdy, YouTube. We are here with Critical Drinker talking about Doctor Who. As you can see, the big blue box, and probably the worst doctor we've ever had. I don't know how they found something worse than Jodie Whittaker, but they did it. they sped run canceling their own show. I heard they're bringing Tennant back again. They already brought him back just so they could emasculate him and then replace him immediately. Ooh, yay. So hopefully they do a little bit better the second time, if they even have the show by then. So we love Critical Drinker here. Sexy voice, sexy man, love his accent. Also, he's not political at all. At least he's not politically correct anyway. We like that here. We like honesty. We like straight, blunt, to the point. All right, we're going to give him a like. If you like his video, give him a like and subscribe. Hopefully I link this video down below because... well, actually, it's 300,000 and still going up as I'm talking. Okay. He doesn't need my help, but still, I'm going to try and link it in myself. I'm trying to get better about that. Give me a like and sub, too, if you like what you see.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. It seems like only yesterday that the 100 or so Doctor Who fans that were still watching the show rejoiced, for the dark times were surely ending. Jodie Whittaker's wildly unpopular 13th Doctor was finally departing for that big blue police.
I was excited she was leaving because she was not a good doctor, and I'm not sure why they hired someone who never even watched Doctor Who. I feel like you should know Doctor Who pretty well to play Doctor Who. Like, you should know history, you should know the bad guys, you should know companions, you should know the names of the doctors. The more you love something, the more it'll show through whenever you're actually portraying that thing or trying to make art that involves that. And it was clear she did not understand Doctor Who.
Police box in the sky, and Chris Chibnall, who was to Doctor Who what Ryan Johnson was to Star Wars, was also going with her. Even better, Russell T. Davies,
albatross
the man who
around his
successfully
neck.
brought the show back from a decade-long hiatus, was returning as showrunner. David Tennant, by far the most popular Doctor in the modern era, was also coming back for a series of special episodes. It really did feel like the adults were back in the room, that the BBC had finally been forced to learn their lesson, and that common sense had won out. Then we actually watched it.
We're binary. She's not. Because the Doctor's male and female. And neither. And more.
It didn't take long to
You can't use Kid Jong like that.
realize that this was not the same Russell T.
Okay, you can't. I mean, he's the one who said it. It's funny every time I see that spliced into a video. I don't care.
Davies we had back in 2005. Or maybe I should say, this is who Russell T. Davies was all along, only now he was fully unleashed, free to indulge his every fantasy and push his every agenda. And like so many other people for whom the message is more important than the package it comes in, Doctor Who yet again became nothing but a soapbox to lecture the unwashed masses from. The show hadn't been saved. In fact, it was only going to get worse.
Okay, I stopped watching after... Shut up, rooster! Go back home! Pretend you didn't hear the rooster. It is not time for you to wake up. Do not wake up, Samurai. Stay in your dream world. I stopped watching after Jodie Whittaker's first season because it was not good. And I'm glad I did, because it sounded like it just kept getting worse and worse as it went along. And at some point they retconned everything Doctor Who in one season with her. I don't know if it was the second season or if it was the third season, because I stopped watching, like I said. And I'm not going back. From what I hear, this doctor, this guy is a good actor. He's a very good actor, but he is wasted on this show because they keep forcing him into things that are either preachy or he ends up just crying every episode about nothing at all, or something stupid that doesn't even make sense. And nobody wants a crybaby doctor. They want a doctor who's going to stand up and get the job done. Because that's what he's supposed to be.
Fuck. Ncuti Gatwa's first season was everything that people feared it would be. A big, campy, silly, preachy, poorly written mess of a show that relegated the Doctor, one of the most imposing, dangerous and intelligent characters in the universe, into the role of a crying, useless, effeminate moron who often gets pushed aside while other characters save the day. Whatever remained of the Doctor Who audience, and those must have been some truly hardy souls to have stuck around after the Timeless Children, were understandably appalled and departed in their millions. And I really mean that. The show's ratings declined by almost 50% over the previous season, and they weren't exactly great to begin begin with. The season even recorded the lowest overnight ratings in the show's entire 62-year history, with barely 2 million people watching episode 7. Jesus, more people watch my fucking YouTube channel than this show now. Anyway, even a state-sponsored propaganda outlet like the BBC, who get their funding by literally forcing the British public to finance their dogshit programming, could only afford to ignore reality for so long, and in the face of laughably bad ratings and growing public backlash, they and old Russell himself were forced to go on the defensive and deny rumours that the show was being cancelled. Apparently, Russell was actually quite happy that the majority of his own audience had quit. The audience no one ever gets is the under-30s. They just don't watch television anymore, but those figures are astronomical for Doctor Who. It's their top programme in that bracket. That's interesting, Russell.
Why are you trying to cater it to people who have never seen Doctor Who and don't watch TV? You're on TV and you're Doctor Who. You need to cater it to the longtime fans because they're the only ones you have left to watch your show.
So, because I'm pretty sure Doctor Who used to be considered a family show, and families generally include young people. But then again, I guess the concept of a plain old heteronormative British family with a mum and a dad and a couple of kids gathered around the TV for a bit of wholesome escapist fun is to you and your BBC mates what properly fitting trousers are to Mark Hamill. Even Ncuti Gatwa decided to weigh in on the backlash, telling people who had a problem with his Doctor and the show's
I heard Mark Hamill
modern
dropped his
themes
pants
to fuck
somewhere.
off and
I
touch
didn't
grass.
bother watching the video though.
Strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Well, as it turned out, they did, and they didn't come back. Even the announcement of a new writing team wasn't enough to revive fan interest. Let's see what we've got here, shall we? Well, first up, there's Juno Dawson, a transgender author best known for her novels This Book is Gay and The Gender Games.
Right.
Doctor
Inura Ellams, a Nigerian poet whose work focuses on race and identity.
Not a great plan.
Peter McTighe, one of the writers for the 13th Doctor.
I'm sensing
and
a theme.
Sharma Walfall, a winner from a Channel 4 writing competition with approximately 3 credits to her name.
Really?
That
Nice
seems
one,
like
BBC. With an
what's the
all-star lineup
opposite of
like
the
that, how can you
Avengers?
go
It's
wrong?
that.
Anyway, all of this brings us, dear viewer, to the present day, and the latest news that not only has young Ncuti decided to bail on the show now that he's finished filming his 2nd season, not only has Russell decided to follow him,
Oh, the
but
Doctor
BBC is now
left the
considering
show.
shelving the entire thing for at least 5 years. Oh dear, it's almost like there's consequences to our decisions, and if you decide to turn a beloved British institution that's been around even longer than you've been alive into a shitty self-indulgent vanity project that only appeals to people exactly like you, then the consequences is that you're out of a job, sonny.
It never feels important to me, it feels natural, because you've got to realize that is my world. It's my only world.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any other world, and if you look at the rest of my work, I mean, that's
Sounds
the
like
work I've been doing
delusion.
since 1999. So it's just natural to me. There's no other way I would write.
See, that right there is the problem with making one single facet of your life into the core of your entire identity. Pretty soon it begins to colour everything that you say and do, and write. Pretty soon you start to believe that everyone sees the world exactly as you do, that the things which matter so much to you matter just as much to the rest of us, that your work is above reproach because you're on the right side of history. Well, as it turns out, it isn't, and you're not, old boy. I mean, it's not like Russell or Ncuti have to give a shit about any of this. Gatwa's apparently headed for Hollywood, where he already has roles lined up.
You don't like it? Tough. I had my fun.
Oh, why would you
That's
clean
all
your
that
ear with a
matters.
key? That's
A source
weird.
close to the show
Oh,
told
that's
the
weird.
UK Sun, Ncuti doesn't want to be tied to the series beyond this and plans to relocate to Los Angeles with several Hollywood projects standing by for him. His team also see a lot of fan backlash from the series and don't want the perception of him still being the Doctor to get in the way of any future work. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a team behind him. Jesus, how big do you think this guy is? Meanwhile, Russell is working on a new show for Channel 4 called Tiptoe, and would it
Oh,
shock
they
you to
gave him
know that
another
it's based
show.
around a group
Why?
of LGBT characters?
How did he get another show?
You've got to realize that is my world. It's my only world.
Fuck me, one thing I'll say about that dude, at least the man's consistent. No, the people that are really gonna lose out from all of this are the little guys, the production crew, the smaller actors,
happening?
the technical people, the set builders, and all the other roles that go into making a big long-term show like this. Apparently the atmosphere on set was pretty bleak when filming wrapped on season 2, because everyone knew the writing was on the wall and they were probably gonna be out of a job when it was all over. The same
yeah.
source who spoke up about Gatwa leaving
We all
also
saw that
said,
coming.
the show's been poorly managed in recent years and there's a lot of people who've been working on this show for years and are now being cast aside due to poor leadership. Apparently people had warned that the episodes were becoming too caught up in an agenda rather than focusing on telling a story, and those people were apparently shouted down and ignored. Because of course they were. Because Doctor Who isn't allowed to be just a fun, escapist sci-fi show that everyone can enjoy anymore. It's a show made by wealthy, metropolitan, progressive elitists who think the entire world are also wealthy, metropolitan, progressive elitists and can't conceive of anything or anyone outside of their own tiny little bubble. And of course, now that the bubble's burst and the show's teetering on the brink of cancellation, the inevitable cope from legacy journalists has begun. My favourite's got to be this article from the Radio Times, where we've moved from "it's not happening"
Appreciated Frizz,
skip
that
the whole,
rooster's
"it
getting
might
on
be
nerves."
happening, but it's a good thing excuse.
About to go outside
and
and kick
straight
the
to,
nuggets out of
"It's
that
always
thing."
been happening and you were just too stupid to realise it." No, it hasn't, you fucking spam sandwich. That's why Doctor Who was able to survive longer than the average life expectancy of a Scottish human, by appealing to a broad audience, by telling interesting, well-written,
Yeah, broad
entertaining
audience always
stories that
works.
anyone could get wrapped up in, whether they were male or female, gay or straight, black or white, old or young, or rich or poor. There was something for everyone in Doctor Who.
Okay, there was already something for everyone in Doctor Who. It doesn't matter if you were rich or poor, black or white, gay or straight. You liked David Tennant. The man was handsome and charismatic and delightful.
Who, because story and
The
character
show
always came
already
before
had
the message,
everything it
because the
needed.
people making it actually cared about the show and its history and its audience, because they were more than just obsessive ideologues determined to push their particular worldview onto everyone else. It's the same retarded all art is political argument that gets trotted out whenever people push back against divisive identity politics and sneering lectures that get awkwardly crowbarred into projects where they don't belong. What they really mean when they say this is that all art should validate my particular worldview, parrot my beliefs, reinforce my opinions, because those are the only ones that can possibly be true, right?
Wrong.
Tell him, Arnold.
But
Tell
funnily
him.
enough, the moment that art expresses different ideas and
Oh,
opinions,
this was a
ones
great
they don't
scene. I
personally
love that
agree
scene
with,
where all the doctors
suddenly
come
it
out.
becomes dangerous and harmful and has to be stopped
And that's
at
all the
costs,
doctors that
because we can't
existed.
possibly have the approved metropolitan progressive elitist worldview being challenged and held up to scrutiny now, can we? Because then maybe people would come to the realization that what we believe is actually bullshit and everything we've convinced ourselves to be true is actually a lie. That is what good art, Doctor Who included, used to do so well, carefully weaving alternative ideas and different perspectives into entertaining storylines and trusting the audience to form their own opinions about them.
Just
Giving them
fire
something to
everyone
think
and
about,
restart.
You might say. But in recent
You need to do what they did with the last Doctor Who before they started back with Eccleston. Just take a long break, fire everyone, find people who actually care about Doctor Who and are willing to put in the work to make it great, and then restart it in a few years.
years, ideas and perspectives have morphed into simple, blunt propaganda. You can't be trusted to form your own opinions anymore because you might form opinions that we don't personally like. So instead, we're just going to straight up tell you how to feel about things because we know better than you, because we're smarter than you, we're more enlightened than you, because we are on the right side of history. Well, it seems you're actually not. It seems you delved too deep and too greedily, and you awoke something in your audience that you didn't expect. And in the end, that was your downfall, and you've got no one to blame but yourselves. So go ahead and shelve Doctor Who for 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years. Nobody gives a shit anymore because the show made itself irrelevant. Doctor Who is dead and the BBC killed it.
Yeah, I'm not watching any of the new Doctor
that's
stuff.
all I've got for today.
I'm not finishing Jodie Whittaker
Go
stuff.
away now.
Go away now, guys. Yeah, I'm not watching any of the new stuff. I was perfectly fine. Well, I wasn't fine. I would definitely not say fine. I was not fine watching the... Stop doing that. Stop moving the pause button. YouTube is so stupid.
What if?
Okay. That was Critical Drinker. Give him a like and subscribe. I am not finishing Jodie Whittaker's run. I don't care. And I'm not starting the new Doctor at all. The only thing I would ever watch out of this new stuff is the one thing that Neil Patrick Harris was in. And I would only watch it for Neil Patrick Harris. And if I could, I'd find a cut where it was just his scenes. And I would just watch that on YouTube. No possible way. Okay. I've been in Play the Jolly. Give me a like and subscribe if you liked what you saw. Follow me on Twitch. I could use all the follows. I only need 24 more to hit affiliate. Thank you very much. Every follow counts. Love you guys. Mwah.